with a TKO over Aljamain Sterling to win and claim the title of UFC Bantamweight Champion. These are Sean O'Malley's hardest hits ever so far in his career. Now, with every performance, Sean O'Malley gains more popularity. Yes, let's think back to O'Malley's toxic KOs, which have given him the status of one of the sport's most exciting possibilities. Sean, who hardly resembled a natural puncher, started his amateur career at the age of 18.
10 seconds.
And he rapidly established himself as an inventive striker. The lanky newcomer was a star back home in Montana from the beginning. O'Malley became a professional in 2015 with a record that was growing with victories. Sugar had the opportunity to participate in the important regional promotion, LFA, in May 2017. O'Malley felt at ease right away when he faced David Nutso, who entered the fight with a respectable 9-1 record. After less than 2 minutes, Sean put an overhand impression on the opponent's face before a Crow Cop special and high-amplitude kicks began to fly. David bounced back and kept going, but the ramifications of that choice caused Nutso to kiss the ground 2 times, and Sugar dusted him off with a fantastic wheel kick before entering the UFC.
You hit him clean with that left hand twice. Now Nutso's been dropped 3 times.
2 months later, on the Contending Series, Dana White offered O'Malley a chance to shine. Alfred Kashakian, the opponent, had a record of 8 victories and 3 defeats. He earlier made a flying knee mistake, but swiftly corrected himself by adjusting his level. Sean escaped the inappropriate situation after landing a couple of ground-and-pound blows. Kashakian failed to anticipate the right hands as O'Malley rallied in the stand, whirled around with a back punch, and began chaining strikes together. When Sugar noticed the Dimension HP bar, he committed a fatality. Alfred's head spun after the first accurate cross, and the second one transported him directly to the Emerald City. Sean made an impression while White was busy adjusting his jaw.
He slips, boom, right on the chin, down he goes.
In 2020, O'Malley's career continued to soar as he battled Terrian Ware for limited oxygen in a life-or-death situation. Nevertheless, after 3 exciting rounds, Sugar seemed to be the more favored guy, coming out with a unanimous win. After that win and a fight with Andre Saukamtheth, where he sustained a leg injury, saw the Sugar Show vanished for 2 years. In March 2020, Sugar returned, and Jose Quinones was added as a dance partner. Sean had no trouble holding the Mexican at bay with kicks, and when he added fists to the mix, he successfully achieved his first UFC knockout. O'Malley was not satisfied.
Go art for art.
Right.
Oh, attacking that right hand, threw him down. High kick.
O'Malley goes high. Now short uppercut, that go covers up.
That's it.
Sugar shot. Running in color.
Because his immense supernova potential became clear when Eddie Wineland, a 40-fight veteran, briefly held the WEC championship with a rarely seen low kick to the head. Since then, a lot has changed, but his blows still have a lot of power. Eddie was grazed by a few high kicks and then an overhand, but Sean was the one in control of the action in the octagon. Sugar made the focus shift to the body and quickly closed the transaction. Wineland was preoccupied by a few fans and missed the cross. The picture-perfect walk-off knockout was completed by the veteran's collapsing body. After that, in March 2021, Sugar faced Thomas Almeida and blamed it on the incorrect moon phase. The Brazilian once received numerous predictions of future championship glory from analysts. With subsequent demolitions, the Sao Paulo brawler enhanced their arguments. But after a humbling defeat against Cody Garbrandt, Thomas went on a losing streak of 3 games. The Brazilian was immediately subjected to a barrage of kicks to the cellar by O'Malley, who then switched targets and went up top. Sean wasn't upset and continued with the execution when the bloodthirsty referee ruined a walk-off knockout. He proceeded 2 mixed kicks and punches in the second round while drawing and moving his hands away from his head. When O'Malley put together a multi-layered combination in the third, this paid dividends. To be sure, Sean spiced it up and won still another additional after the Brazilian was stopped with a short left cross. However,
That front kick up the middle.
Oh, that left hand hurt him bad. He's doing it again.
And again, the hesitation.
The Brazilian.
in that same 2021, after a flawless win over Almeida, O'Malley's scheduled opponent withdrew. A courageous rookie, Chris Moutinho, filled in. The spectacle that fans have been waiting for was delivered. Sean successfully connected with 2 crosses, a snappy kick, and a clever hook as Chris surged forward early in an attempt to walk down the moving striker. The tempo slowed in the second after the knockdown at the end of the first, and O'Malley started to add extra stank to every offer. Then, with 30 seconds left, when Moutinho had taken a sustained onslaught of punches, the fight was called off. Sugar set a new weight class record for major blows, and he was awarded the Fight of the Night bonus. Now, before we show you how this skinny boy is dominating the UFC and shocking the world, please subscribe to Push Play Videos and like this video to enable us to give you more exciting moments in the world of sports. As O'Malley continues to shock the MMA world and the UFC, he decided to engage in combat with Raulian Paiva. The Brazilian came into the fight with a 3-fight victory record in the UFC, but he had nothing to offer Sugar in the cage. Sean launched a left cross and a right overhand all in. At the 5-minute mark, O'Malley fired a looping rocket, knocking the dazed Paiva out coldly. Damn! The Sugar Show skinny boy is becoming a UFC monster in the bantamweight division. Sean Sugar, the UFC darling, has 11 knockouts, 16 wins, and only 1 loss. His detractors may refer to him as a brazen UFC darling, but Sean is on the fast track to becoming one of the sport's biggest stars. Yes, O'Malley was faced with Aljamain Sterling, the current UFC bantamweight champion, before he was brutally knocked out by the Sugar Show skinny boy. Aljamain Sterling defending his title against Sean O'Malley, who was ranked 2nd at UFC 292 on Saturday, August 12, 2023, from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, was a showdown that shocked the entire MMA and UFC community. However, Sterling applied early pressure in the first round, but Sugar displayed patience by using feints to catch Sterling off, and as well as good footwork and distance control. It was clear from Alja's behavior that he might have trouble closing the gap and that he was wary of Sugar's strikes in the opening round. And in the second round, Sterling comes out and attempts a takedown right away, but Sugar successfully defended. Sterling attacked Sugar aggressively as they parted ways, lunging forward and landing some powerful blows. Sugar backed up, read Sterling's move well, and delivered a right-hand shot to the chin, sending Sterling to the ground. Sterling was then subjected to a barrage of ground strikes from Sugar before the referee intervened and declared a new champion. Wow! Sean O'Malley TKOs Aljamain Sterling to win and claim the title of UFC Bantamweight Champion. I can imagine how a skinny guy could be hitting out giant guys in the UFC. Also, I can imagine seeing a YouTuber knocking out real and well-trained boxers and UFC champions, including an NBA player. Yeah, these are the best Jake Paul moments. What are you still waiting for? It's on your screen already. Go watch it now.